Hey yo, buckle up because we're diving into a bombshell that the liberal media doesn't want you to hear. In my opinion, there's also rock solid video evidence proving that Donald Trump wasn't on Jeffrey Epstein's infamous list, and I'm going to show you why. Today we're unpacking a fiery clip from Charlamagne The God calling out the liberal media's double standard in regards to Jeffrey Epstein, plus a jaw-dropping moment where Trump himself makes a couple shocking revelations about the Epstein case to the press. The hypocrisy is unreal, and by the end of this video, you'll see how the media's selective outrage is crumbling. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with Charlamagne The God, who didn't hold back when he roasted the liberal media for flip-flopping on the Epstein case. In a recent clip, he pointed out that the Democrats sat on the Epstein files for 4 years under their watch, showing zero interest until it became a political weapon. He called it straight. The media only cared when it fit their narrative.
It's just funny how the news works. Because Bill Clinton, wrote a letter to, Jeffrey Epstein as well for his birthday, but nobody's talking about that. And Jeffrey Epstein had a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress and high heels, in his New York mansion, but nobody's talking about that. My thing is this. I don't care who's on the list. Everybody got to go. Burn it all down. Like, that's just simple as that. Mutually assured destruction. Whoever's on that list need to go. Nobody needs to be protecting pedophiles. I don't care what party they are.
No, period. And, to that point, though, Clinton is not the president right now. If he was, you'd think that, anyways, yeah, I think he would still be under scrutiny if he was the president right now.
No, he wouldn't, because liberal media wouldn't push the issue.
Oh, okay.
And he's not alone. CNN's own Scott Jennings, a rare voice of reason, backed this up, slamming Democrats for their selective outrage on Epstein while ignoring their own skeletons. Here's Jennings laying it bare and having a go at Jemele Hill and the rest of the libs on the table.
I'm just very satisfied by seeing him make such a huge unforced error.
I have to say, your use of the word delicious to start your comments, and then you're saying that you're very satisfied. But, we are talking about a situation here where young women were abused. This is a tragic case. Maxwell's in jail because she helped traffic the women. This is a very, very tragic case. I see Democrats and people on the left taking great political delight in this because they don't care one bit about the victims. They only started caring this about 5 minutes ago. They only started caring 5 minutes ago when it was a cudgel against Trump. So this kind of language where we just sort of laugh about the situation but forget the underlying issue, the victims here, to me, it's
so
beyond the
what's your
pale.
solution to?
My man Scott Jennings always be cooking on that debate table at CNN. Anyways, the hypocrisy is glaring. Why the sudden obsession now? It's almost like they're deflecting from something bigger. That said, let's move on to the rock-solid video evidence I have proving that Trump was not on the Epstein list flying to the island. I'm not sure if many of you have seen this clip. It's a hot mic of ABC's Amy Robach in August of 2019, a month after Jeffrey Epstein was exposed as a trafficker on national TV. A hot mic is typically when a microphone is accidentally left on during a private conversation and the speaker does not know they're being recorded. So here she is having a private conversation with a colleague while off the air. This was obtained by James O'Keefe back when he was with Project Veritas.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
Did you catch what she said? Let's roll that tape again with the main snippets and listen to her carefully.
Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew, and she told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. What we had was unreal. Other women backing it up.
That's Amy Robach in a 2019 hot mic moment spilling that she had Virginia Giuffre's testimony and other victim stories naming Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew tied to Epstein's island. This hot mic conversation occurred during Trump's first term in office, but here's the kicker. Robach, who worked for a network that loathed Trump, didn't mention his name once. Don't you think if Amy Robach, who dug deep into Epstein's crimes with Virginia Giuffre's testimony, had any dirt on Donald Trump, she'd have mentioned his name on that hot mic? In 2019, Trump, the incumbent president, would have been the biggest name to drop in a private conversation, not Bill Clinton. That said, I think anyone with a functioning brain and knowing the climate at the time with the liberal media in regards to Trump could put two and two together and conclude that this clip here is indicative that the chances of Trump being on that island are slim to none. Virginia Giuffre worked at Mar-a-Lago before Epstein recruited her in 2000, so she knew who Trump was. If Trump had been involved in any abuse on that island, Robach would have heard it and spilled it, especially with Trump as a sitting president. Yet, silence.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. But just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young women? What did they do?
In the spa.
In the spa?
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
We've seen.
Okay, so what you heard was the president on Air Force One heading back to DC, and the stunning admission here is that why he parted with Jeffrey Epstein. And the bottom line is that Epstein was stealing his employees from Mar-a-Lago. Okay, so this isn't any crazy new news or anything, but listen to how CNN's Aaron Burnett tries to spin this tragedy and the suicide of Virginia Roberts by suggesting there was something between Trump and Virginia and some scandal that had never been reported on.
So what did she say to you about him, right? I mean, he's saying, okay, she worked at the spa. At the time she was 16 or 17. Epstein hires her. Epstein obviously is I want to be clear here, is not in the hospitality business. So why he's hiring a 16 or 17-year-old masseuse from a spa, I'm just going to put that out there. But what did she tell you about Trump? Since we don't have the Epstein files, at least she talked to you.
Right. I mean, her interactions with Trump were limited, but she met Trump through Epstein. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't like Epstein stole Virginia from Trump as if Trump knew this employee at Mar-a-Lago. It was actually Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman he's considering pardoning, who found her in the ladies' room, a place that Jeffrey Epstein could not be, in the female spa. And she saw Virginia reading a book on how to become a masseuse. And she said, I want to become a masseuse. And she said, let me take you. I'll teach you how to be a masseuse. You can be a traveling masseuse for a wealthy man. Then she brought her back to Jeffrey's home, and she was the one who took off Virginia's clothes and molested her.